We are back at 1221 West Washington in Chicago's West Loop. This is a couple weeks old, but I have to get this out. I wanted to get this out when it was fresh, but here we are looking at a tower crane coming down. And remember, the tower crane, the symbol of construction. The tower crane goes up, everyone sees it, everyone knows there's a construction site. This is a tower crane coming down. Now, that is a big shift in the phase of building here because when a tower crane goes down, then they start to seal up the building and we get closer to final construction. This tower crane is coming down from this 19-story, 213-foot residential tower, this being along Washington Avenue and in between existing buildings means that there is little room for error here and the operation is so clean. So you have a guy in this giant crane here that we're seeing. He is moving the pieces from up top down to the street where they can be hauled away, but it is a very precise radio operation because we don't have the greatest visuals here. You see how tall this is. That crane is going up over the height of where the tower crane was sitting. So the building 213. So yes, that crane would be up at like 280 feet probably. So closer to 300 feet to get this crane down. And I was talking about the radio operation. You have the crane operator and he is getting signals, calls from all of the iron workers up top dismantling the crane, and then he's getting calls from the iron workers on the ground that are taking things apart and loading it onto a truck. This is a great shot because we are just getting a complete orbit around the site so you can see the setup here and you can see how this building is got the cladding so far up, just less floors to complete than are completed. So this building will be nearing completion by the end of 2026. So a pretty interesting project here because this being in the West Loop is a very thick neighborhood and this would technically be infill, but if you notice how this is going up with lower rise buildings on each side, so sticking up on along Washington Boulevard. But here is just a quick spin around. You can see there is a little bit of density around here. Sometimes I do my drone 360s from much higher up, but this is closer down to where the level of this building is being built, and this is going to spin around. We will see this is 1221 West Washington. The crane coming down is just such an intense operation. It's incredible to see. I sat on the street interacting with these workers and man, they really know what they're doing. But here's the last spin around. You can see starting in 2022, we really have had quite a bit of construction in this neighborhood, and it is something that so many people look at and want to see the neighborhood get taller. Although there is just a few 500-foot tall buildings in the neighborhood, and so many that are coming up to 300 feet. So I don't know if anybody's super satisfied with the height of the buildings going in this neighborhood, but here we see part of this crane being lowered down. Now they put this straight down onto the ground. This piece right here, that is actually going to be taken apart and put on the trailer as two separate pieces, but this is how it works. So they have to bring these down, and then they've got guys with big hammers just pounding out the bolts that are in here. I wish I had some audio of the sound of this because they come down and they start just pounding out these bolts and then taking the pieces apart. But, you know, the guys on top, they have to take things apart to a certain point, and then the guys on the street can take it apart further. The guys up top, they are having to take all of the rigging, all of the, because there's, when these tower cranes are up there, there's a lot of strength put on certain rigging lines that are holding this apart. Then you have all of the counterweights. So a tower crane is such a process, and that's how it goes up too. They lift every single individual piece up to the top, and then they put it together to make a complete tower crane. But tower crane coming down, tower cranes going up, that is what people want to see here in the city of Chicago. We love to see the construction here. And I talked about these iron workers. These guys here, these are all union jobs. They are really great construction jobs to have. And you see, look at these guys just moving around here on the street. They are figuring if everything's in the right shape and in the right alignment so they can set it down on the street and take it apart. But I have this much longer process looking at this tower crane. I am just going to let this run to some background music because it's a pretty long process. I could have been there all day long, and honestly, I'm looking at buying a vehicle. Getting around the city by public transportation just isn't working out for me any longer. And so if I get this vehicle, I will have greater access to these sites. I can sit there and just put my drone up just random times to get little looks at what's happening here. But I always show up to these sites. I always talk to the construction workers. I always try to figure out what's going on. There was a guy sitting in the parking lot across the street from this, and he has been doing this work for 33 years. He's a little bit older guy, and he had so much knowledge about what was happening, and I was just really asking question after question, trying to figure out more about this site. But it is a fascinating process. So I'm going to let this run to music. Thank you everyone for listening to me go on about this because I am fascinated with this work. So thank you everyone.